All right, guys, all right. We're on the hard stuff today. Right away in the morning. Didn't rain last night. Went till 2 in the morning, I did, and Eric went later, Dad, I don't know what time he quit. And then I get a phone call this morning when I'm in bed. Didn't rain, sun's shining, it's 80 out, let's go. Okay, we're going, I'm giving her. I had to really peel the old eyelids off of the eyeballs this morning, but I'm alive, sun's shining, and we're planting corn before June 1st, so let's go. So I can't seem to get a hold of Eric or Brody. I told them 8:30 and I didn't get here till 8:45, I'm not gonna lie. But we gotta get beans off of there because Brody needs a different variety. So what I'm actually gonna do, that ain't the code, what am I doing? So I need different soybeans. There's only 3,000 pounds on the tender. I need to offload that. I'm actually gonna put it in a corn tote. I'm gonna rebuild it and hopefully 3,000 pounds fit in there. I think they hold 2,500, so I hope I don't have to build 2 of them. So last night at 11 o'clock, this seed showed up. I offloaded it, he got out of here about 11:30. It's 89-day corn. This is 99-day corn. We are not planting this year. It's too late. It won't mature properly. So we're going down on the maturity level. We got in, I think, 7 new boxes. So it is what it is. It's getting late. We gotta change the game plan. So I've showed you guys how to tear these down by yourself, but I don't know if I've ever rebuilt one by myself, and I think it's going to be very difficult. So since I got no one else here, I'm going to try. Oh my gosh. I gotta get a strap or something and do it with the forklift. That's too much activity this early in the morning. Hopefully Channel doesn't see that and call it abuse to the box. Oh, you're up! What time did you shut her down?
Way too late.
What time?
I don't know. Something like 2:30?
I gotta get going.
You're up too?
Yeah, I gotta get beans. They're
go.
digging a half section right now.
Oh, Lord. Well, I'll call you when something more pleasant happens. Oh, good morning. Rain last night a little bit, rained me out, and then I had to shut her down. Well, see, look for footprints. There's been no vandals here to cause me any issues. I don't know. Maybe I'm a freak. I always done it. Got to keep an eye on it. So, it rained enough to rain me out last night, but looky there. More work. but it did not rain enough to knock us out. So we're back. Now the roads are a little bit beat up yet from the big, what should we call it? The event, the spring of 22, the event of spring of 22. We got a few little red flags, a couple washouts, big holes in the shoulder of the road from the muskrat tunnels collapsing in the event. And I started up tractor here, got looking at the GPS stuff, all the screens, and it says, can you read that? Can you read that right there? Last worked. I don't think that can be correct. How can, no. 1969 at 6 p.m. Maybe I'm so tired I can't understand things anymore, but one more time. I think I'm reading it right. Whatever. Maybe they've been watching us since 1969 then, the year before I was born. Concerning. Get all this stuff fired up. What are we doing there? Oh, that's too boring for all of you guys. Okay, going to my little field this morning, then heading all the way back to the farm. 10 miles east of here. We'll talk later. Okay, time to go check the seed again. Done. And we do not have a scale on the planter nor on our seed tender. So I know approximately how many seconds it takes to auger a bag of corn. 6 seconds to 10 seconds depending on the seed size, which varies. And also a fun fact for all of you that don't know, one bag of seed corn, roughly, depending on the population, will plant 2.5 acres. So every 2.5 acres, you will use up one bag of corn, depending on the population. Okay, I'm gonna burn them and get back going. It's actually so wet now, or still so wet. Now it's humid out. The bags don't even want to burn. Usually they're gone and like that. I should show you, once again, astonished with how these things are performing. Until you have something like that, you just, I cannot believe how that levels this planter out. You gotta shut it off when you're up against muddy sides of the field, because it will do what it's supposed to do. It's taking the weight off the center of the planter and equalizing it across the whole bar. Gotta have, it's a must have. I think Chet's got something in his whatever. I always hear him saying, link in the description below. Link in the, I really don't understand. Nor am I in the mood to learn. I gotta go again. Done with one more field. Now I'm heading back to the farm, get some fuel and good old government stuff there. Cleaning the air, you know. Not polluting the air. Whatever. Not getting into that either. I'm fighting with trying to figure out how to keep a closer eye on my furrow force, the closing wheels, and I've been told, which seems to work, but still tweaking on it, that if I get into the closing action pressure, I believe it's called, actual pressure, I mean, closing actual pressure for the furrow force, then you got to click on this here, and I can get rid of the whatever you want to call them and tighten up the margins so that I don't have so many colors. What I want is to know when there's a rock in them furrow force closing wheels, and I want that to turn red. So I've narrowed it down to only 4. I had 12, which that was way too many. So now, when that has pressure or a rock gets pinched in there, that is going to want to push down harder, which will then give me a red line, red streak, because I've got my high pressure set at 69. I believe the most it can do is 70. I don't know. I shouldn't be trying to talk too much about this, because somebody out there that knows a lot more than I do is going to be saying, oh, you're confusing everybody. But anyway, talk to somebody that knows something about this thing. You can set all this stuff up so that anytime I get over 69 pounds pressure now, that is going to trigger a red line, which you can see the little tractor running there. And I have no map because I am not in the field anymore. Maybe I'll show that to you later if I can find a rock to squeeze in there, which I know I will. Okay, so back to the closing margin. I was on closing actual pressure, but I switched over to the margin. That seems to be a lot better. So there's a lot of stuff on this monitor. Unbelievable. I think it'd take you to the moon if you wanted to. Whew. But it's nice. It just takes a lot of memory and a lot of practice, and this planting is a, well, you know, 1 or 2 week deal. Then you park it in the shed. It's just too long between the use, anyway for me, but that helped a lot. Now I'll be able to plant at night and not have to worry back there. So I don't know if you guys care, or I'm sure some of you do. I'm running the population, closing margin, iPad. I got the downforce and the actual downforce, so that I can also keep an eye on that. Got whatever you want to do on the John Deere 4300. So many numbers. And I run all the GPS stuff off of that one. I don't know. I really hate to say it, but if I could have another iPad, I maybe would take that just to do other things. You know. Could watch a little YouTube. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I got all I can do to handle this thing. Boy, if we could only have a 2 week stretch of time like this. Beautiful sun's out. I also got a text message from my mom saying she was gonna go out to mow. Well, she whoa, butt dialed me. I wonder, think she'll say anything bad about me? Eavesdropping. I'm gonna have to hang up. Bye, Mom. You gotta just laugh sometimes.
So Dad's planting at the home place here, just right south of the yard. So he said he was out west in some really heavy gumbo and had some different planter settings, so he's wondering if he should go back to where he was. So I'm gonna dig behind the planter here and see what it looks like. Granted, I am on a headland where there's compaction, but here is the open V deer closing system, and we are seeing a terrible amount of that just because it's so wet. But headlands, it's not uncommon to see that because compaction zone, it's really hard to get that ripped up. Furrow force obviously is designed to do a lot better job with that, so there is no open V, but as you can see, this worked up just terrible because it was wet and hard. You got cement blocks out here for planting ground conditions and just chunks, unbelievable. Man, it is just so hard. There's the little kernel, looks like it's a 1/2 inch deep because delta force, I think, is maxed out on pressure. So I gotta let him plant a little bit before out in the field before I can really get a good judgment call on how it's set. Alright, that looked good out there. I took it out of the ground a 1/2 inch, but I like his furrow force settings, his delta force settings, and gonna let him give her. Got a nice little 80 there to work on, so I'm gonna go check on Brody quick here and make sure that's looking good too. So I'm out in the bean field now. Brody's giving her there. This was really wet when they dug this. This is horrible seed bed. Horrible, look at this. This is what we're supposed to grow a crop in. But that being said, I mean, we gotta go, so it is what it is this year. It is what it is. There's a lot of that being said, and it's pretty much everyone in the whole neighborhood has been giving her. There's a guy across the road, talked to buddies and agronomists, and everyone says the same thing. It's the calendar date says you have to go, so what's that saying? Plant in the dust, your bends will bust. What's the other saying? Plant in the mud, you'll cuss. Sounds good to me. This is by far probably the worst seed bed I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it ain't great.
He's got his row cleaners down pretty good. He's ridging it up more than I'd like to see, but we got to get this stuff out of the way. Balls like this, we can't, the row unit can't ride on this, so I'm so glad we put row cleaners and hydraulic row commander on there so you can raise and lower it on the fly, because this is a necessity to have row cleaners. Well, Brody looks good. I think he's fine. I'm gonna go back to town and get a load of 1034 for Dad for his next field. Brody's so neat. He does such a good job. So tedious and nice in the corners. Man, it is very warm out. It's a nice change, but you gotta stay hydrated. Link in the description. You can use discount code, get 20% off like we do. All right, next job for Chet will be loading some soy green on our tender for when we get to those fields that need soy green with iron chlorosis. There's that word. It's a hard one for me to say, but got to get that loaded up because that's a liquid product that we got to put on with the soybean planter to make them soybeans resistant to that in the dirt. So let's get to that. So I've got empty boxes and stuff in here all over, but basically that's the product I'm going for. It's a dry product that we mix with water, with liquid. Well, water's a liquid, right? Yeah. No, I haven't slept much, so pardon my talking ability. It's marginal at best when I'm not deprived of sleep. This is tight. This is really tight. Boxes everywhere. Here's the soybeans that I offloaded this morning. So, gotta move a bunch of empty boxes to get there, basically. Why'd you turn off? Oh, that's why. I didn't turn the LT on. There we go. We're still over half. Okay, soy green's loaded up here. I don't know if we're gonna need all this, but I put it all in here because I got space and I don't want to have a hold up. So it comes in these 30-pound bags. It's dry product. So last year we used our well, we call it KW, but our straight truck, and we put tanks in there. And I said, why are we doing that when we have a nice water trailer and these nice Batchmate 2.0s that I got from farmchem.com? Because they have agitators in the tank here. So you can cut the bag open, turn the agitation on, and pre-mix it in this tank before you go to the planter, because them other inductors in that KW truck were not good. Not good. If any water burped up the tube, which happened, it would plug up and you had to stick to rod down in there, and let's just say it plugged up for an hour and a half one day and I wasn't very happy. So we're going to use this trailer and it should work a lot nicer. So that's what my hope is. I did have the pump running. I'm filling water on the ground tank right now so that when we are ready to rock and roll, I don't know how grass got in there, but it did, we can fill this up and get ready. Actually, currently I've been using it as a holding reservoir. I've been pumping 1034 in and out of this trailer for late nights so I can get back to the town and get a load before they close. They're working good. Kind of looking forward to spray season. I like spray season. A year ago, we were spraying beans that were this tall and corn that was 6 inches tall. Isn't that insane? So Steve brought the truck back, Eric's spraying. Steve went and did something else, but Triple Flex needs to be swapped out, so we're gonna swap out another tote, put it up there so he can do some more tonight. I tell you what, this gopher job, 110% necessary. I don't think that this gopher job should be called a gopher job. I think it should be something cooler like, I don't know, efficiency improver, or you guys name what I am. And keep it clean. So I really like the gravity flow setup. Put a tote on there, flows down. We can run some in this tank, and so then he always has some on hand for when this tank runs empty. I always drain some out of there just to kind of alleviate some weight back there, and I put some in his inductor to have it somewhat ready for when he gets here, a little closer to full, and also to lighten up this back rack. Well, and just like that, Dad calls, needs seed and fertilizer, so off to the field I go. So this field is corn on corn, so we aren't planting a triple stack. We are not. So we are putting a capture LFR in, I believe that's what this product is.
5.5
It's
gallons.
generic. So we got it at Egg Chem Solutions, which is always in the description. But anyways, we got to put that in for rootworm. So if you don't want rootworms, your corn goes flat, long story short. So we're going to put that in here, and we don't do that normally unless it's corn on corn. So now when we're filling the planter, I just slowly induct that in, get it mixed, and then when it's in the tank, as it's going in there, it agitates and mixes it up real good. Or in theory, it does that. In my mind, it does. Either way, it goes on the field, right? You know, if you drive up to the water in the 2-track, that wouldn't work very well. That you may be very nervous there, but he says, well, I got 4 tracks, I'll make it. Until you don't. That's how you always get stuck.
Yeah, and we're on the far away field too, so that would have been just right about the way that would have happened.
So we're going 10.6 miles an hour. Population is what? 31,000 is what we're planting, which I think we should be dropping because it's getting so late, but we are down from what we normally plant, 33,000.
You gonna tell them why we're dropping our population?
So that it'll stand when it's fall time.
We're trying to get a bigger stock.
Yeah, trying to get a healthier, bigger plant by spreading them apart more. Less plants in the field, also less yield potential. But if it's all flat, that's massive.
Hard to get yield on a corn that's 6 inches tall laying down on the ground. And thanks for asking. He's riding with because I got to plant out about 15 acres here before we can fill seed on. I needed some 1034O with the bug juice, which I think you know about. So never mind me.
So we're sending it. It's working pretty good. This is a field that I used the sulfur on and did the whole field, and then they came back and tilled it with the diggers a day later. And this was black. Where we're at,
elevator. You know, some people don't know what a digger is.
Where we're sitting right now, this was black, almost water. I can't believe there's dust, but it actually worked up very nice. Well, not very nice, but pretty nice.
It's good for this year.